And you're 21 years old, and you had a heart attack on December the 3rd, just 2 months ago, right?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
And I also had a stroke on December 10th. And I also have type 1 diabetes on top of that.
Yeah, now, this came out of the blue, though. You said you hadn't been feeling very well. You actually had you gone into the doctors before you actually had your heart attack? You kind of sensed something was off.
So initially, December 1st, I woke up in the middle of the night and was having some burning chest pain. I just kind of brushed it off and went to bed, back to bed. And then December 3rd, I called into work and said I wasn't feeling well because I had like burning chest pain and it felt like I had been like kicked in the chest basically. And so I took myself to a walk-in clinic, described the pain that I was having, and they told me that I was having heartburn and gave me a prescription for heartburn and then sent me home. And then a week later, I had the stroke.
Yeah, I mean, by the time you got in and you got checked, you had what kind of a blockage?
By the time that I was actually in the hospital, which was December 11th, because I had my stroke on December 10th, I had a 90% blockage in what they call the widowmaker. I believe it's called the LVAD. And then I also had, my heart was pumping at 32%, and I had a blood clot in my lower left ventricle, and that had caused the stroke in my brain on the left side.
And so what are you thinking as this is happening and you're hearing all of this? What's going through your mind?
It felt surreal, like it wasn't real, because I wasn't feeling any of the symptoms when I was there, so it just didn't feel real.
Yeah. Also, you're young. I mean, you know, young, otherwise healthy. I know you said you've been living with a diabetes diagnosis since you were, about 10?
Yes.
Is it common that people with type 1 diabetes also are at risk for heart disease, cardiovascular disease?
Yes, both type 1 and type 2 diabetes, you are more at risk for cardiovascular disease, yes.
But you still probably are thinking that's maybe something you might deal with later on in life, certainly not at 21. That's shocking. So what is it now as you're moving forward, knowing that, you know, you've already been through this once? What is it like living with that?
Well, I definitely changed my eating habits just a little bit. Not that I was doing anything wrong health-wise. I just made a little bit of some lifestyle adjustments. And then going forward, I mean, it could happen again, but I mean, anything can happen, so why spend my whole life worrying about it? I'm going to just live every day like it's my last and enjoy that I get another day to wake up.
Yeah, that's a good outlook.
Did you think about dying? Did you think you were dying? Did you think about that?
I definitely thought about what if and what would I do, but when I had that thought, I was just really lucky to be able to wake up the next day after I did have a stroke, because a lot of people don't. So I was just happy to have my friends and family around me, and such great coworkers at Iowa Diabetes Research too. I mean, if my coworker hadn't asked me that morning how I was doing and asked me about my night before, I wouldn't have told her about the symptoms I was having with my stroke.
What was Christmas like for you this year, and how about the new year, getting to celebrate a new year?
I guess you could say it was more memorable and special just to be able to spend that time, because I might not have gotten that lucky.
Right. So what would you say to people to get them to call and donate to the American Heart Association? What would you say to people?
If you donate, you're helping a lot of people, and you never know. I mean, it could be anybody. It could be your daughter, your son. I mean, at my age, 21. I mean, just think about that. Put it into perspective that it could be anybody. And so donate because you want to make a change.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's Valentine's Day. Do you tell people you love them more now?
I definitely, right after I know that I texted a lot of people and told them, and called a lot of people and told them how much I loved them and how much they meant to me. But yeah, I still do that because you never know. You want that to be something that sticks in their head.
Yeah. Hannah Brown, thank you, Hannah.
Thank you.
Great to have you here. We really appreciate it.